Jesus, I'm gonna pop a blood vessel at this rate. Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory 2 video, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about gear score. I'm sure you guys already know what it is, but just like the fishing and music video, I want to leave this on my channel for the sake of just, archiving data. Gear score is relatively simple to understand, but some people might be a bit confused about it, so I figured why not make a detailed explanation on how it works. It's a feature in MapleStory 2 that's not in MapleStory 1, which acts as a numerical determinant for the overall power level of your equipment, which usually correlates to how strong your gear is. More powerful gear will have a higher gear score. The cool thing about that is that it can serve as an effective means of establishing equipment tier. For instance, potential system doesn't exist, so we don't have things like rare, unique, epic, and legendary. Instead, we have an item star rating on the top which goes in the color from blank to green to blue to purple, or in this case it's common, rare, exceptional, epic, then afterwards legendary and ascendant. The latter two are not available right now, but I think they're gonna come out as yellow and orange, or maybe orange and yellow. Anyway, each piece of equipment yields an individual gear score value, which is then totaled up to establish your gear score in your character stat window. Offhand items like shields, codices, your second combat dagger, or throwing star don't add to your gear score because it only factors in your primary weapon. Oh, but don't worry, you'll still get the stats from that offhand weapon, but I think it's only half the value if you have a dual wielding weapon like the throwing stars or the daggers. So for assassin and thief, with the dual wielding weapons, the daggers and the throwing stars, only your highest GS weapon is going to be calculated, the other one will not. But what exactly is the point of gear score? Well, for one, many dungeons require a benchmark amount of gear score. For instance, normal dungeons like Onyx Bunker, Lingering Darkness, Forgotten Veyar, Blue Shade Cave, etc., it's 1500. And then the hard dungeons of Fire Dragon, Balrog Temple, Lubelisk, etc., that's 2100. The point of this is mostly just to make sure, players don't accidentally wander into super hard dungeons with like 800 gear score and then just get wrecked. Apart from that, there's no real purpose to gear score, besides maybe serving as an arbitrary rating for your character's power level. It's kind of like range in MapleStory 1. You would usually tell how strong you are based on your damage range, right? Well, let's not factor in boss damage or crit damage and stuff, but they do have that here, just not really as the be-all end-all of range in MS1, you know what I mean? Now, just to warn you, gear score does not directly translate to strength. Someone could have 4000 gear score and have only 3400 attack, while someone else could have 3900 attack. Gear score is only a total assessment of your character's equipment, kind of like a student's GPA. But a B student may be very skilled in something versus an A student, such as the B student being a good athlete. Does that make sense? So make sure you also factor in your attack and defense rating afterwards. How do you increase gear score other than getting better equips? Well, there's only one way to do it, and that's through enhancing. Check out the Catalyst tab in your inventory and you'll likely see a few items such as Onyx Crystal, Chaos Onyx Crystal, Crystal Fragment, and stuff. If you don't know what they were for, don't worry, I didn't either. For the longest time during the Head Start week, I was just going around and wondering how everyone was able to make that push to 2100 without having to buy those epic drops that were 10 million mesos each. Now, mind you, that's a lot of money. This ain't MS1, where a billion mesos is poor. No. We're going back to the pre-Big Bang era where having a million meso put you in the 1% of the capitalist economy that's MapleStory. So I decided to ask around, and my guildmates, they seasoned me up, threw me into a furnace, turned up the temperature to 1000 Fahrenheit, and I got roasted real good. These are enhancement materials. You mostly need the Onyx Crystals more than anything else. You can get Onyx Crystals simply from mission rewards, dismantling equipment, or buying them from the black market. Chaos Onyx Crystals are the same way, except they're only from epic gear, hence the purple hue around it. And then Crystal Fragments you can buy from the NPC, for somewhat expensive, but not too bad. Enhancing upgrades the gear score of an item a token amount, but usually past 5 enhancements is when the increase in GS is not really worth the resources it requires, so if you're doing it just for the sake of upping that rating, you're better off just switching to something else. But yeah, that's just about it. Just want to get this out for you guys. I'll leave some extra information in the description below if you want to learn more about gear score, but it's a relatively simple thing to know, so don't worry too much about it. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Take care.